So many people are looking for a way out of rising costs of living in Western Europe, the US, Canada and Australia. And for years, Bulgaria has been one of Europe's most affordable countries to live in, drawing in remote workers and retirees alike. But here's the catch. Prices in Bulgaria have actually risen significantly in the recent years. We moved to the capital, to Sofia, 6 months ago, and I talked about what we love here in the previous video. So today I will share a realistic budget living here together as a foreign couple. We will cover rent, groceries, transportation, phones, insurance, actual medical costs and more. Is Bulgaria still an affordable haven everyone talks about, or is it becoming out of reach? I'll show you how we make it here on €27 a day per person, and please let me know, do you think we made a mistake? If you're new to the channel, my name is Olga, and for the last 8 years I've been traveling and living in different countries in Europe and Asia, and in the last 5 years, together with my husband Rene, we've lived long-term in Antalya, Turkey, and in Da Nang, Vietnam. Now we are here in Bulgaria, showing you the realities of living here and helping everyone who wants to make the same move. The first thing that everyone who is relocating has to do is to find an affordable apartment that will fit their needs. And right here I'm filming this in our bedroom. We rented a 2-bedroom apartment not too far from the city center of Sofia. Actually, for years, together with my husband, we were living in either small studios or 1-bedroom apartments. Or it's actually still a studio, but because they put a glass wall behind the bedroom and the living area, they call it 1 bedroom. That's how it's mostly done in Southeast Asia. But living in small spaces, of course, allowed us to reduce our budget. And when we decided to relocate to Bulgaria, we thought that it's about time that we have a separate bedroom that will function as our home office. We're paying for it €750 a month. This is, as I said, 2-bedroom with separate living area and 2 separate rooms that can function as bedrooms, or in our case, one of them functions as a home office. It has been recently renovated. It looks almost like new. There is no designer interior, although that would of course increase the price. So that's the average cost of 2-bedroom, and if you're looking at a 1-bedroom close to the city center, well furnished, you might be looking at €450 to €600 per month. Of course, the range of prices can be much wider. I've heard from locals that if you go away, say, 5 stations from the city center by public transport, you can find a 1-bedroom for €300 a month. Of course, the furnishings might not be great and the building itself might be older, but then you will be saving up to 50% of your budget. On the other end of the spectrum, if you want to be right in the city center, if you want a designer interior and you can afford it, then you might be looking at $1,000 to $1,500 for 1 or 2 bedroom. I've seen prices even $2,000 or $2,500 from luxurious rental agencies, but those kind of prices, they look inflated to me, to be honest. Something to definitely watch out for is that at least one of the bedrooms has an air conditioning, because summers here are really hot. They are comparable to summers, let's say, in Turkey. And on the opposite side, there is a cold winter, so you definitely need some form of heating. I know in cities like Varna and Burgas on the Black Sea coast, most of the apartments are heated with an AC. There is no central heating and no gas heating, or it is very rare. And sometimes I did see apartments like this in Sofia here too, without any other heating other than AC. Personally, I don't recommend it. I don't like the hot air from the air conditioners, and they still might not be heating up to really good temperature. And that's actually one of the reasons why we chose Sofia. It's because here it's much more common to have either central heating or gas heating. In our apartment we have central heating, and we are a bit surprised of the costs of it. Our total bill for the month, where we had heating all day long, and I must say we have to heat every room. We cannot just switch heating in the bedroom or in the living room while we're not there, because otherwise when we go to that room it takes a really long time to make it warm enough. So we have to keep it going all day long in every room. And the total bill for it was 200 leva in a month, plus we have 50 leva for water and 50 leva for electricity. And of course, during the summertime there is no need for heating, so here you go, right away we will be paying 200 leva less. And I would assume that if we were renting small studio or small 1-bedroom, our budget for heating would be at least half or maybe 70% of that. I do hear that many locals say that prices now for rent, especially in Sofia, they are really inflated. So if you're new to the city, I would recommend just stay first in different neighborhoods, maybe rent Airbnbs, see where you like it more. Of course, go and look at different apartments that are rented out, maybe try to negotiate, and maybe don't trust if you're told that, oh, on this apartment we already have 2 other biddings, get it now or this offer expires. How sales are working. We are happy with our apartment so far, but I already do suspect that we could have negotiated a lower price. If you're looking into moving to Sofia, I created a guide that comes with a Q&A chat where I am answering the questions myself. It's not a tourist guide, although all the top attractions of Sofia are included. The main focus of the guide is to make it easy for expats to settle into their new home and find friends. Check out the link in the description. The next big expense is groceries and eating out. And I decided to show you one of the supermarkets that we are visiting regularly. Of course, you can find premium supermarkets in Bulgaria where you will have a big variety and all kinds of products. But to give you an idea what you might be spending on a daily basis, let's go to the Billa supermarket. I will show you what's the best deal and more expensive products and everything else in the middle. Just remember that usually you get what you pay for in terms of quality. The currency here in Bulgaria is Bulgarian lev, and for convenience you can always divide the price by 2 and you will get a rough estimation what's the price in euro or in dollar. As you can see here in the shop you get very good variety of fruit and vegetables, and now it's the winter time, so there's actually less variety. In the summertime you will get more. That's the difference, for example, with the Netherlands, because there you throughout the year have all the same fruit and vegetables at the same price, but here the variety and the price will depend on the season. One thing that's really affordable here in Bulgaria is the cheese. In the supermarket you can also find the specialty products like gluten-free products or vegan. There will be some pre-cooked meals like these salads, for example, and I encourage you to try the Bulgarian salad. Shopska salata. It's a salad with cheese, all kinds of snacks, and these snacks actually really remind me of Vietnamese banh mi. All kinds of nuts, dried fruits. Another section where you can find soy milk, for example, and the best deal is $3.80. We are in a bread section, and as everywhere in Europe, it's really big. You can find all kinds of bread, and this is the one that we actually buy most of the time. It's a sourdough bread. If you see where it's written Živa zakvaska, that means it is sourdough. It's not the cheapest bread, but also not that expensive, less than 3 leva. And as you can see, this is the average price for bread. You can find burgers as well, hot dogs, whatever your heart desires. And this is actually freshly baked bread. Again, quite a big variety of it, and prices are very affordable. This is banitsa, traditional pastry with white cheese. And if you want a donut, you can also get it for only 1 lev, which is $0.50. The meat section is really big. This is lukanka, type of Bulgarian salami. And of course you can get a more traditional one. Here you can see prices for the meat. Again, here's a lot of variety. You can buy yourself a burger. There is a fish section. I would say overall, usually here that section is not the biggest, and salmon steaks are relatively expensive. And the best deal you can have is buy meat from a section like this. All kinds of pre-cooked salads, and the prices are for 100 gram. Here's a more expensive toothpaste, and the cheaper one will cost you around 2 leva. Best deal on shampoo, and your standard Head and Shoulders will cost you 8 leva. So as you can see, you are covered for all the basics here. Also, the cheapest pasta is a bit more than 1 leva, but if you want something better quality, you can go to 2 leva. Coffee beans, the cheaper ones you will find for 40-45 leva a kilo, but they also have the Nespresso or Lavazza capsules, or just your standard Nescafe. This is the best deal I could find on coffee, but all your basic supermarket brands are here. Oil has been becoming more expensive, especially olive oil, as you can see. Here is the big section with cheese, and on average for this kind of cheese you will pay around 20 to 30 leva per kilo. But these are two cheeses that we buy the most, Gouda and the Italian grated cheese. Eggs you can find on a really good price, 4 leva for 10 eggs. In the supermarket there was a big alcohol section and you can find almost anything that you want. The only thing I couldn't find actually, and that's the same for most of the supermarkets that I see in Sofia, is the Asian drinks like Asian wine or Asian alcohol like sake. But all the European and American brands are here and you can see their prices for reference. I tried to see what's the best deal on the wine, and of course it's always a local wine. This is 3 liters of red wine for only 13.5 leva. For its quality, usually, as I said, you get what you pay for. So if you're after some Italian or French wines, you can find them here for sure. And alcohol here in Bulgaria is actually much cheaper than in Turkey overall. This is mineral water that we've been buying. And for example, 1 liter of Coca-Cola will cost you 2 lev. And this is a big section with milk products, but most of it is kisela mleka. And it's a traditional Bulgarian yogurt, absolutely a must try. This type of Bulgarian yogurt actually has a bacteria that is only available in Bulgaria. We were pleasantly surprised to see that in the supermarkets here in Sofia there is always a big choice of alcohol-free beers as well as normal beers, and this is one of the more expensive local brands. But the best deal is again on a local beer for 2 liters, only 3 leva. This is selection of teas and you can get yourself a chamomile tea for only 1 leva. And another thing that I like about supermarkets in Sofia is that most of them, the bigger ones, they have a self-checkout cashier, and the display, it has English language and German language menu. You scan your items, you can pay with a card, and then you just use that receipt to get out via the electronic gates. We go to a supermarket every other day and spend about 50 to 70 leva each time. For example, these things are usually normally in our basket. What do we have? We have rice for around 3.5 leva. We have oats for around 2 leva. This is chicken breast meat, 650 gram for 8 leva. This is traditional Bulgarian yogurt for around 2 leva. Gouda cheese, 250 gram, around 5 leva. Lactose-free milk, it's a bit more expensive than the normal, around 4 lev. Bread, 2 leva. Potatoes, 4.5 leva. And 10 eggs for about 4 leva. And total, all of this cost us 36 leva. So what's our total monthly budget on groceries? We spend around 400 to 1000 leva per month for 2 people. And we do like to cook home a lot, so we don't go out for food much. Some groceries we go for more expensive options, while others we buy the cheaper ones. So we don't try to reduce our grocery budget as much as possible. It can be done on less. Of course, you can reduce the budget even lower if you go to a local market. And here I am showing you a central market. It's called Zhenski Pasar. It's really close to the city center. It might be a bit intimidating if you don't speak the language, but if you at least learn how to ask for the price and learn the numbers, it will help you a lot. At one of the markets like this, I noticed actually that the shopkeepers, they don't let you touch their product, they pick it for you, and as a result we would get some of the products that are unfortunately not so good anymore. But then we found a really small local shop that is basically like a market, and there I can always pick and choose myself, and the owner is really friendly. So I would say if you have a bad experience at one market, just go to a different one. Our eating out budget turned out to be smaller than we expected. It's actually even smaller than our groceries budget. For example, this is a very casual pizza place, but we did find the pizza there to be really good, and I guess that's why it was so busy. For the lowest prices you can go to a food court and you can find both Bulgarian and international food. And if you want a burger at McDonald's, you can get it for around 16 leva. There is no shortage of specialty coffee shops in Sofia, and many of them are quite good for sitting down and doing some work. But what I also found is that street coffee machines are very popular, and there you can have a Nescafe or espresso for 1.5 lev only. And those coffee machines are really popular here. I wonder why. If you're a Bulgarian, please explain this phenomenon to me. I haven't seen it in any other country where it would be this many coffee machines like this. If we want to go on a dinner date, there are also plenty of options in Sofia, and the prices are quite affordable. You can expect to spend about 20 to 30 leva per person without drinks. You can find good Asian food as well. And for example, to celebrate Christmas, we went to a more fancy place, and there with coffees and dessert, our total bill was closer to 80 leva. So our total budget for eating out is only 200 to maybe 400 leva a month. It is on the lower end if we only have casual dinners once a week, and on a higher end if we go out somewhere to celebrate. I think our lowest bill for eating out would be something like 30 to 40 lev, and our highest around 80 to 90. We don't really drink alcohol, so that of course contributing to lower cost of eating out. But overall, from what I see here in restaurants, alcohol is usually relatively not very expensive, and the price might go up only in the rooftop bars. What is our home Wi-Fi and cell phone situation? There are different providers to choose from, and some of them offer lower prices, some are on a higher end, and we took unlimited plan for the phone and 100 megabit for the home internet. For the unlimited plan on the phone I pay 40 leva a month, and for the home internet it is 20 leva a month. And we decided that we need only one local phone with mobile internet, so we are saving up on the second phone number. You can of course find it cheaper if you don't need unlimited, or if you go for a lower speed for your home internet, but there are also prices higher than the ones I told you. So total for Wi-Fi and internet at home we pay around 60 leva each month. To give you an idea of how much money you're going to be spending on shopping, I decided to go to one of the biggest malls in Sofia, Paradise Center. You can find every major brand there. And just like with groceries, I will show you the best deal that you can find, the lowest prices, and the prices on the higher end. So this is one of the most affordable shops here in Bulgaria, Sinsay. And right now they even have many items on sale. For simplicity, I decided to create a total look, a jacket, a sweater, a skirt that I actually bought here about 3 months ago, and the boots. The boots and the jacket were on sale, and the skirt and the sweater I bought at a full price. Sweater would cost me 25 leva, jacket 45 leva, my skirt was only 25 leva, and the boots 35 leva. So the total look here at Sinsay would cost me 120 lev only. Of course, these are also the sale prices, and if it's a new season clothes, they might be a bit pricier. The same as with groceries, you get what you pay for, so I don't expect premium quality from very affordable pieces. And on the higher end, we can find a shop with many higher end brands. For a fair comparison, I decided to create a very similar look, a jacket, a sweater and jeans. Here prices are considerably higher, and it seems like the quality is also higher. For example, the jacket was windproof and also waterproof. The sweater was not acrylic, it was cotton, and I took Tommy Hilfiger jeans. So for example, the sweater would cost me 120 lev, the jacket would be 379, and Tommy Hilfiger jeans 200 lev. And jeans from More and More would cost 180 lev. So total look here is 600 lev. Unfortunately, at that shop there were no shoes. So the jacket, sweater and the jeans are 600 lev total. But in a shop right next to it, Echo, it's a brand famous for very comfortable shoes, you can get something like this for 230 lev on sale. So our total more expensive look would cost 830 lev. So just see, it is 120 lev at the cheapest shop and 830 for more expensive brands. For most people, of course, it is somewhere in the middle, but I hope this gives you an idea of how much you can spend here in Sofia on clothes. Next category is transportation, and I think here in Sofia public transport is one of the best. There are trams, there are buses, there is of course metro, and the metro is always reliable, it comes on time, inside it is always clean, and the price of it is not more than 4 lev a day. Basically, for a short trip, 1 or 2 stations, you will pay only 1.6 lev. But if you change several forms of transportation during the day, you will not be charged more than 4 lev. One of the great things about it is that you don't even need to buy a ticket. You can just use your credit card and tap it on a scanner. And actually, there are sometimes checks on public transport. I've already in the 6 months been checked twice, once on a tram and another time in metro. And how they do it, they have a special terminal and you put your credit card to it and they can check if you have paid or not. Even if you paid from a card connected to your phone, so you paid with your phone, you still put your phone next to their terminal and they can see that you have paid. Taxi is also quite affordable, and I would recommend always using a taxi app, and they still go by the meter. When you get in, you can see the rate. Usually from the airport we paid 15 to 25 lev for about half an hour drive, and inside the city I usually pay somewhere from 10 to 15 lev if I need to go somewhere. We already had a couple of experiences renting a car here, once for a trip all the way to Burgas, another trip was to Varna. We rented both from a local Bulgarian company and from an international one. I must say, with the local company, unfortunately, we had a so-so experience. Our main problem was that they needed a credit card for the deposit, but our card, which is a credit card, in their system it was popping up that it's a debit card. And if you have a debit card, then you have to buy insurance from them. We already had insurance from another company, so we did not want to pay double, but in the end we just had no choice. So next time we went with an international company, and there our credit card was accepted without any problems. The roads in Bulgaria overall, the main roads leading to big cities, they are good, well maintained. We had no issues driving. Right now, next week, we are planning to celebrate our anniversary and we again rented a car. In the winter it is only 39 lev a day, but in the summer it was closer to 60 to 80 lev a day. Petrol was 2.65 for a liter of 95 gasoline. Bulgaria is a beautiful country to explore by car. There is the sea, there are mountains, there are historic cities with beautiful old towns. And for example, if you want to drive to the beach in Greece, it will take you only 4 hours to Thessaloniki. Both local and international car rental companies will charge you the border crossing fee, and it can vary from country to country depending where you're going to. So I would say sometimes it's just cheaper to fly to Greece or to Germany or to wherever you want to go and rent a car from there instead of renting a car in Sofia and driving. For remote workers, there is no shortage of co-working spaces and good coffee shops to work from. A co-working day pass can cost you around 40 lev a day, and if you want your own private office, it can cost you around 500 lev a month. Medical system here in Bulgaria is relatively good, and depending on where you're coming from, you will be pleasantly surprised. There are two basic options. The first one is to be insured by the government and pay social contributions every month. That is, if you are self-employed here or work with a Bulgarian employer, or you can opt out for paying all the expenses yourself. And that's actually what we chose for after weighing all the pros and cons. We do have some spending for medical, but it is not astronomical, and here it's quite affordable. So we decided for us right now it would be economically more reasonable to pay out of pocket. There is of course mandatory insurance that you absolutely have to pay if you want a residency permit, and it is around 200 leva for the whole year. But that insurance only works for emergencies, and everything else like chronic diseases or something that is not urgent, you have to pay out of pocket if you are not insured with the government. Here it might surprise you that you don't need to go to a family doctor first to be referred to a specialist. There is an online platform when you can sign up for either an online visit or a visit at the clinic in person. Usually the prices are somewhat affordable. They are from 60 leva, I think I saw one of the cheapest, to 120 leva, more expensive doctor. And on average, I've been paying around 90 leva for a visit. And it's not a problem at all to get to the specialist that you want. Sometimes, if it's a popular doctor, you might need to wait for a week or two, maybe even longer. But for example, if you want to see a certain doctor, for example, a neurologist or an eye doctor, you can for sure find someone even for tomorrow here in Sofia. If it's an online appointment, you can even find someone for today. If you, for example, you need a scan, it might cost you around 40 leva when you are at the doctor's. And again, in my experience with a specialist doctor, most of them have a scanner right in their office. So if they determine that you need to be checked, they check you right away, you don't need to wait. Of course, if you need an MRI, you need to go to a special clinic where they have it. And again, there is no need to wait too long. You can even sign up, for example, for next week. And MRI can cost you somewhere from 400 leva to 600. The results are usually ready the same day, or you might even just wait for half an hour. And if the doctor is not busy, you will get your results right there. All kinds of lab tests are also very affordable and available next day. For example, something like a simple blood work can cost you only 10 leva. However, if you need multiple tests, not just a simple one, it might amount to around 100 leva, depending on what you need to be tested. With the local doctor's referral, you even can do an endoscopy here for around 600 to 700 leva, and you might need to wait for it for extended period of time, like a month. However, if a doctor decides that you need to be tested urgently, you might be doing it much sooner. So now let's add everything up and see how much we are spending in a month. If we count rent, bills, groceries, eating out, transportation, phone and internet, mandatory health insurance, living together in a 2-bedroom apartment, me and Renee are spending 1,650 euros a month on average. That amount does not include medical expenses, travel, and shopping for clothes. And if we were renting a smaller 1-bedroom apartment somewhere further away from the city center, that would save us around 300–350 euros every month. Cost of living is not everything when choosing a new home abroad. The real question is, does Bulgaria provide the lifestyle, infrastructure and the quality of living that you're looking for? In this video I tell you exactly why we chose Bulgaria, so you can decide if that's the right move for you as well.